Good day. You've got both of us today. You've got him.
Hello.
And me.
And for those of you who've not tuned in before, I'm Richard.
And I'm Paul.
And this is Richard and Paul, funnily enough. And if you're new to our channel, please do subscribe.
There's something up there.
There might be.
Yeah.
So this is over to you, Paul. It's your area of expertise today, talking about gardening and things.
Well, sort of. Yeah, sort of my area. You also do the garden. You've done the back garden this week, spending quite a few hours there, tidying it up, getting it ready.
And as you can see, we're in the back garden now.
And there's no wind.
We're not really, it's a green screen effect. Isn't it good? Because it's too windy to film outside, you would just hear and that wouldn't be acceptable as far as I'm concerned. So over to you, Paul.
So today we're doing a video as part of a collaboration that Liz Zorab of Byther Farm and Erica of Erica's Little Welsh Garden put together to celebrate the RHS National Gardening Week.
Are we still in the National Gardening Week?
We are still in
We're still in the National Gardening. I'm really thinking about it. It's quite strange, isn't it? Because National Gardening Week, a lot of people aren't going to be able to garden within the week. They'll be cramming it into the bank holiday weekend.
Yes.
Won't they?
And Monday doesn't fit into National Gardening Week.
Isn't that a bit silly,
Well,
really? The timing of that. I think they could have adjusted it slightly, don't you?
I think it's always this week. So
Is
yeah,
it?
they could be National Gardening Week +1.
Well, I don't know. National Gardening Weekend.
Well, no. Well, actually, some national weeks spread across 2 weekends.
I think 2 weeks would be good because you can't cram everything in 1 week if you're working full time.
No.
Can you? No.
It is the month really where everything starts,
Yeah.
where we're all putting things in the ground. So May is a great time.
That's
obviously,
what I'm
to
thinking,
have
you see.
National Gardening Week. Did you just talk over me then?
No, sorry.
Yes.
I do
there we are.
apologise.
So anyway, it's now Saturday. National Gardening Week started on Monday. And Liz and Erica had this collaboration where lots of gardeners, lots of people on YouTube are putting up videos with the same title. And this year, the RHS National Gardening Week is all about edible Britain. I think it's in its 8th year, and each year they're now focusing on one specific thing. And this year it's edibles. And last week I was in Cwmbran for a meeting. You're going to say Cwmbran? You do it better than me.
Cwmbran?
Cwmbran.
Cwmbran?
Cwmbran. I was on the train coming back and I started thinking, what am I going to do for the video? What am I going to do for the video? And everything around edibles, we sort of know. Why do we grow? That's really the point of this collaboration. Why do we grow? What are the challenges that we have, and what are the joys that we have? Why do we do what we do? Now, obviously, in all of that is the fact that if we're growing edibles, we want to be able to eat them. So you have your provenance, obviously you know exactly what's going into what you're growing, you know exactly how you're growing it, you know it hasn't been travelled thousands of miles in some cases. All of that I think is taken as read, and I was trying to think of why I grow what I grow. And I realised that I was stressing about what I was going to say in this video, and that is really the essence of this video. Why do I grow what I grow? It's actually to have a bit of mental balance, mental health balance, because it does give me time out on my own, and sometimes with you, to get out in the garden, have fresh air, or in our case the allotment mainly, have fresh air and grow the things that I want to grow and we want to eat. And I sometimes have a really pressured job, as I know lots of us do, and getting down to the allotment for an hour really helps that. And you've been doing that in the garden this week.
I have been gardening this week, not just because it's National Gardening Week, but because the garden was desperate for a tidy up, and it's not finished at all. The video that you're seeing behind us is a small selection of the good bits, the trees. I'm not showing you all the mess that's below on the patio because I've still not, cleared the patio.
But it's much clearer.
But I do that every year, and I spend a few days. Well, actually, no, that's lying. I've got this. Oh, it's not a mental health problem, but I guess it is. I've got this need to do everything now. And what I used to do is I used to literally break my back doing it all in one day. And then I would be absolutely exhausted. And I would sit at the end of the day and survey my work and feel really satisfied, but broken. And I decided this year, no, you know what? No. You're 52 years of age. It's not right to be, careering around the garden as though you're 30 and saying, yeah, I can do it in a day. When actually it's not practical to do that. You've got not such a great back and blah, blah, blah. So I spread it across the week.
Yeah.
I mean, I've still not finished and there's still a lot to do. But I've spread it and I feel quite satisfied that I've managed to do that without thinking I've got to do it all in one day. And that's the thinking of a 20 or 30 something that has the energy and the capacity to really just crack on and get it done. I don't have that energy, and there are other things that need to be done.
I think there's a number of gardening programs that are the makeover of the garden, where we know things are all done in one day, and I think they give a really
by 20 people.
But yeah, by a number of people. You most probably see 3 or 4. Maybe 5 or 6 on screen, but actually there's a whole army behind that. But that gives a really false representation of gardening and what actually gardening is about, because gardening isn't about being bound by time. Gardening and growing is about appreciating that period of growth from just planting that tiny seed to harvesting the pumpkin over a 6-month period, and watching the seed just break the surface. Then you get your two leaves, then you get your true leaves, then a bit of stalk comes, then you put it in the ground, you get the flower, you get the growth, you get the big leaves, you get the pollination, you get the tiny bud of a pumpkin, let's say, and then that begins to grow, and then you harvest it.
I think they get the picture.
I think they get the picture, but
also,
that is so true.
What you're talking about
time
is
bound.
true.
You talk over.
But also, in terms of gardening for, planning a garden. I mean, Capability Brown didn't do it in a day. The vision. It's about having the vision for seeing what will be in 5, 10, 20 years' time.
In Capabilities Brown's case, 100 years' time.
Yeah, and it was, he planned in that way, didn't he? And, in a sense, you have to, unless you can afford to plant huge, mature shrubs straight away into your garden for instant effect, and most of us can't afford to do that. You've got to think about how things will look in a while, or indeed choose plants that grow quickly.
But not Leylandii, preferably.
Well, no, but things like massive plants for instant effect. If you've got a boggy garden gonorrhea is a great example.
Gonorrhea.
You know,
Yeah.
because you can get that jungle effect within a season if you buy a relatively mature plant.
Can you buy gonorrhea now? Is it still allowed?
Oh,
Or
I
is
don't
it
know.
an
I've
invasive
got no
plant? I'm not
idea.
sure. We'll have to look that up.
I'm sure they're still around.
But any plant is amazing. It never fails to amaze me that a tiny seed
You've done that bit.
can give us so much joy, or me so much joy.
Yeah.
You don't like sowing seeds, do you?
What do you mean I don't like sowing seeds?
You
What a
like
ridiculous
to have the
statement.
plant, don't you?
I've said this before. I'm not a gardener. I'm really not a gardener. I do it because I like to see the view from the house, and I
Which
do
is
it
fabulous.
because I like to block out all the other houses. You know, so we're not overlooked. But I certainly don't do it for the pure joy of it. I really don't, because I find it hard work, and I find it hurts my back, and it gets to me, and I don't like the dirty jobs. I really don't. Even though I've done plenty of them this week, I will do them. But I do get a sense of satisfaction. I do sit back and say, thank goodness that's done. But it's kind of a sense of relief.
But then you have the
But I do
the
enjoy
joy of experiencing your work over a
Yeah, I
period
do.
of
I mean,
summer.
I think for us it's been quite difficult the past 6 years or so because there have been a lot of extensions going up, and to be honest, every time I've tried to enjoy the garden, I've not been able to, because I've been disturbed by noise and dust and pollution and builders swearing,
Oh yeah.
which I don't mind swearing, but these banal conversations that builders have on top of roofs, and radios, builders and loud radios. I know that they like to have music while they work, that's fine, but it's really disturbing when you're in your garden trying to have half an hour's peace and quiet. But that's London.
Well, I think
That's
that's
the price you pay.
any
But
place.
it's the price you pay for living in London, because it
Or
happens
Manchester, or Birmingham, or Edinburgh, or Glasgow. All of those
in a
places have the
city.
same thing.
Let's
In a
say
city.
that.
Yeah. However, coming back to Edibles Britain, which is the theme of the RHS National Gardening Week, I need to get down the allotment and do some sowings of beans and things like that.
Oh, have you said everything you need to say?
Well,
You said everything that's
mainly,
on your cue card.
the one thing that I haven't mentioned, yeah, I wrote things down as we do with our Sunday chats, but I've actually put it here rather than
Professional.
having it as a
Professional.
thing. Last week I was in Cwmbran, as you know, as part of Social Farms and Gardens, and part of Social Farms and Gardens, what our advocacy work is about, in part, is to get social prescribing onto the national agenda with the NHS and with other institutions, because we all know, us as gardeners, we know, yes, there's work to do, yes, it can be challenging, but the joys that you actually get out of it, the sense, as Richard was saying, of achievement of something, that moment of solace that you might have because you're at the allotment, or you're in your garden on your own and you're just having that little bit of peace, or the fantastic community aspect that comes with allotmenteering or sharing plants, or just enjoying the sight of somebody's garden and chatting to them over their wall or over their fence. Things like that are really, really important. And social prescribing, which you may be hearing a lot about at the moment, is where doctors can actually prescribe social activity such as gardening as a benefit instead of just using drugs all the time. So I'll most probably do a video on social prescribing at a later date. Yeah, because I think it's really important that we understand that not everything can be tackled with a pill or a tablet. that natural environment is really important to us, not only for our health but also for the health of the planet. And that again is a completely different video.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Paul, for sharing that lovely information with us. And thank you to Liz.
To Liz.
And Erica.
To Erica.
And all the people involved in this lovely project.
Collaboration.
Two other things.
Thank you.
Thank you to you, Paul, and thank you to me, just for being here. Is that it now?
Yeah, I feel quite calm now.
Do you? It's probably the green screen.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
I think it's more the fact that we've done the video.
Okay,
and I was stressing about it last week.
Oh, good.
And now I don't need to.
So we'll see you tomorrow. And for those of you who don't know, he's going to... Oh, what was that?
What was that?
Something just fell from the palm tree. I think it was an old leaf.
It must have been... No, it must have been a frond, a flower, an old flower frond.
That's what I mean. I meant that.
Right.
I meant that.
That's what he meant.
Oh.
That was...
Oh. We're not really in the garden, but we're looking out on our front garden.
Front garden, yeah.
And there's a palm tree. We'll show you a picture.
It's a big palm tree.
Yes. An old flower.
Cordyline australis.
Oh, that's right.
Cordyline australis.
Okay.
Cordyline australis.
Oh, Paul, don't do that.
Have you murdered someone?
Don't.
Pet?
People who are new will switch off now and think we're crazy.
That's about right, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So goodbye, and we'll see you for tomorrow's
Sunday Chat!
He does that every time, for those of you who are new. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you very much for watching, and do subscribe.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.